Happy holidays, Upper East Siders. It's your favorite rich girl, Amber Frankusen, and you're listening to the Old Money Podcast. I'm so happy you're here with me today now that we're finally past the Thanksgiving holiday and can legally lean into Christmas. I'm bringing to you the ultimate list, the Old Money holiday list of what to buy for your rich friends and family who already have it all. And this is coming from a self-proclaimed gifting expert. I'm very good at giving gifts. And I want to tell you my number one hack, but I'm also today going to run through the bougiest and the best gifts that can earn you this year's title of the best gift giver ever, because everything on this list is classic. It's an investment piece. It's something that's really going to enhance somebody's world in a really meaningful way. So before I get into the list itself, which is inspired by one of my favorite things in the whole world, which is the Neiman Marcus Christmas Book, and I will tell you about that in a second, I want to give you 3 hot tips for planning the best Christmas ever all year long. So first and foremost, if you haven't already listened to the episode all about saving, it's episode 5. It's called Afford Everything You Want. I actually talk about Christmas in that episode because part of my annual savings plan is to put a little bit of money away every single month into a high yield savings account so that when Christmas rolls around, I'm not going over budget and I'm able to really splurge on gifts that I love to buy for my friends and family. So just to give you an example, high yield savings account, I have mine set up through Capital One, and every month I'll put an automatic deposit of a couple $100 into that savings account. And so that way it's part of my monthly budget as opposed to an annual expenditure that I have a hard time tracking. So what that does for me is it alleviates any worry about going over budget for Christmas because I already have the money stashed away in a savings account for when the time comes. And I can use my credit card to buy everything that I want and then really quickly pay it off with the money that's in that savings account. But even better, as you know, this year, due to the financial environment, rates for savings accounts have gone up significantly. So in my Capital One savings, I'm getting 4.5% on most of my accounts right now. So if you have $5,000 stashed away for Christmas and you leave it there, you're just going to earn interest. That would be, $450 for free, essentially, by just leaving it in that account. I also really like to bucket my accounts so I'm not pulling from one major account. For me, that makes me feel a little bit more control about the savings that I have allocated for different things. So if you go back and listen to that episode, you'll know that I have some savings for vacation. I have savings for my dog's healthcare. I have my own emergency savings if something were to go off the rails and I need to buy a new car immediately. All of these different buckets keep my money earmarked for different things so that I can spend without guilt and without worry that I'm pulling from my emergency fund, for example. I actually have dedicated Christmas savings. So that's my number 1 tip. My number 2 tip, and this is what makes me a really competitive gift giver. I'm competitive about this. You want to invite me to a white elephant party, I'm coming in hard. I am super competitive because I enjoy gift giving so much and I love surprising people. So I think my best one ever was for a white elephant family exchange. I brought a betta fish, a live betta fish. I named him Rocky Balboa, and he stayed alive for many, many years with the person who won him. So I'm going to go out of the box. I love to do that. And one of the ways that you can really surprise people is by listening to them. This is the key to being a great gift giver. So going back to another episode to reference, episode 6, Be the CEO of Your Life, I talk a lot about systems. And one of the systems that I set up is an Evernote or a Notion where I record keep. And some of the things I record keep is when I get my oil changed or people's addresses, whatever it might be. I have it all in one place. It's my second brain. And I also have a list in my Evernote. Well, no, I switched over to Notion, so it's not Evernote anymore. Notion is what I'm using. I have a list called Christmas gifts. And all year long, whenever I'm out with somebody, talking with somebody, they mention something, anything at all that's a hint, I write it down and I figure out how to gift that person that thing. So I'll give you a really good example. And Justin, close your ears or skip forward a minute or else you're going to blow one of your Christmas gifts. It's not a big one, but anyway, a couple weeks ago, Justin and I were grabbing coffee from a shop in our neighborhood and he was out of espresso beans because he has this crazy coffee machine that I still to this day do not know how to use. And it takes espresso beans and he does not like the espresso beans from the coffee shop near us, but it's the only one that's convenient. So he keeps buying them from there. And then I feel like every time he has his coffee, it's just not as good as he wants it to be. So I did some research and I put in an order for all these different types of espresso beans so that I can give them to him for Christmas. And it's going to be something that he wouldn't go out of the way to get for himself, but it's something that would definitely surprise and delight him. So I just had that as a note on my list. And then I don't have to worry and freak out about one of the things I'm going to buy him. The third thing, and this is the most important, and I mentioned this, like I'm a great gift giver, but that is not my love language. So tip number 3 is understanding the love language of the person you're gifting. So while that might be one of the ways I like to show love, it's not one of the ways I personally like to receive love. My number one love language preferred is words of affirmation. So more than anything, I'd prefer a handwritten note or like a really nice conversation, for example. That's what's really valuable to me. So the tip here is understanding the love language of the person that you are gifting, also understanding your own. So if you haven't done this recently or ever at all, go to Google and go to the5lovelanguages.com and you can take a really quick test. It's a quiz that will tell you what your love languages are. There are 5: words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. So those 5 are all different ways to express or receive love. And once you have an understanding about the person you're gifting, it can help you tailor what the best gift will be for them. So for example, if somebody really loves physical touch, maybe it's a massage from you or somebody else. If it's quality time, I recommend leaning into doing an experience together, going to a concert, going to a show, something like that. If the person you're gifting is a fan of acts of service and you want to get a really practical gift, maybe you could buy them a housekeeper or, pay for a housekeeper for them or take their car in to get the oil changed or anything like that, that would really be taking something off of their plate so they feel like they're being taken care of. I think those are really, really great gifts. So while today we're really going into the big and the bougie, I love a practical gift. I love when something is taken off my plate as well. And I think being really intentional about gift giving and having a lot of love and thought behind it is what makes it so special. So giving a gift is really an opportunity to connect with somebody that you love. And today I'm just going to tell you all the most expensive ways to do it. Okay, so let's get into it. That's all of the psychological shit. Let's talk about the fun stuff, which is where you're getting all your credit card points this year and how we're boosting the economy through being the best gift givers ever. So as I mentioned to you, this whole show is inspired by the Neiman Marcus Christmas Book. Every single year, if you shop at Neiman Marcus during the year, they'll send you a catalog in November. And the catalog is all of the things that they would recommend as a gift guide. However, every single year, Neiman Marcus has what they call these fantasy gifts. And these fantasy gifts are insane. They are once-in-a-lifetime experiences that really money can't buy, except Neiman Marcus packages them up and puts them in a catalog for you. And I've always looked at this. My mom used to get this catalog and I thought, oh, how cool. This is so fun. But it wasn't until a few years ago where I thought, okay, this is a fantasy gift that not only do I want, but I need, and this is now a goal in my life. And that fantasy gift was the Moet & Chandon champagne vending machine. Now, if you live in San Diego, you might have seen one of these in person. I know, I feel like I have a tracker for where any champagne vending machine is in my brain, but there's one at the Pendry Hotel, and there's also one at Morning Glory. And this vending machine is so chic, I'm obsessed. So you can buy directly from Neiman Marcus, or exclusively from Neiman Marcus, I should say, a vending machine that vends out 187 milliliter bottles of Moet & Chandon. The vending machine itself has a big Moet & Chandon logo across the front and the side. It's white, but you can also customize it with, like at-home hashtag if you're still into those. But essentially, at a push of a button, you can get your own split of Moet & Chandon. You can also set it up to run credit cards or to accept money, which you might need to do after paying for this because the vending machine itself is $44,000. And unfortunately, that does not include the cost of alcohol because it does fit 35 total bottles of Moet & Chandon. So you have to buy those on your own. But here is the thing. This is an actual fantasy gift that your girl would want in her house for sure. It's giving Heather Dubrow, but it's also giving rich girl. And so now every year when the Neiman Marcus catalog drops, I'm always so excited to see what type of outrageous gifts they have. And sometimes they're just not it. But I have to remember there's a lid for every pot, right? So let me tell you about some of the Christmas items that are available through the Neiman Marcus Christmas book this year that are brand new and the ones that I'm excited about. I'm not going to tell you all of them, but some of them are pretty cute. Like one of them, you can pay $510,000 to star in your own animated Disney movie. That's right. They will have the Disney animators literally draw you or your kid or your dog or whatever, and they will bring to life in a short video created by Walt Disney Animation Studios a private story all about you as the main character, which for $500,000, that's a pretty steep price. I think you could get that done on Etsy, but at least it has the Disney brand on it, right? Also this year, because the Paris Olympics are coming up, there's a deal for $210,000 where you can join Ralph Lauren, who's the official outfitter of Team USA, at the Olympic Games in Paris. You get to have 3 nights in Paris, dinner at Ralph's restaurant, and you get a ton of Ralph Lauren Olympic merchandise. So you can look like one of those cutie little athletes at the Olympic Village or walking in the opening ceremonies. However, I find this so bizarre because, the Olympics are a representation of the people that have worked so hard in their sport in order to get there. And then for you to buy your way in to get the same merch, I don't know about that one. So question mark for me. However, remember the Disney animated movie, $510,000? Listen to what you can get for $485,000. So a bargain in comparison to the Disney movie. You can go on a yachting treasure hunt in Bali, a 9-day adventure through the islands of Indonesia for a yachting treasure hunt where you fly into Bali with your friends and you get on a 130-foot sailing yacht to relax with spa treatments, kayaking, diving, and you get to tour all the islands. Then get this, while savoring a private candlelit dinner in a secluded cove, a message in a bottle will signal the start of your treasure hunt. So this is like a murder mystery party on steroids, because after you get this message in a bottle, you go in search of the lost treasure. For the next 2 days, you discover a series of clues as you cruise through all of Indonesia's islands. You hike through the jungle, explore caves and waterfalls. And at the end, with your final clue in hand, the hunt will end with the ultimate reward, a $150,000 voucher for you to fill your treasure chest with exquisite Neiman Marcus jewelry. So I'm sorry, you're going to pay $500,000 for a Disney animated series about yourself, or for less than that, you can go yachting for 9 days, then come back with $150,000 to spend at Neiman Marcus. So girl math, at the end of the day, you're actually only spending $335,000 on this. This to me is it. Like, this is 100% what I would want to do. And how fun and such an adventure. And oh my God, I would die to do this. But as I said, every lid has a pot. And so there's also things for sale like an electric Cadillac for $975,000. You can go to the Cannes Film Festival with Chopard for $500,000. You can go to, what else is on here? Oh, Baccarat Crystal Experience in Paris for just $75,000, where you stay first at the Baccarat Hotel in New York, and then they fly you to Paris for a private tour of Maison Baccarat. And then you go to like the touring of the factories and the history and all that kind of stuff. I think that one would be pretty cool too for somebody who really loves crystal. I'm looking at you, Kathy Hilton. Anyway, one of the most confusing ones on the list for me, it says perform with the American Ballet Theater in New York, $195,000. How are you going to get on stage with these prima ballerinas and think that you have a place on that stage? I have no idea. My point is that the fantasy gifts are really stretching to reach to make that wow factor for the people who have everything. For people that could buy something that they want any time of the day, all year round, it is so hard to find something that's super special to make their holiday a real surprise, which is why I think Neiman Marcus does such a good job to catering to that ultra high net worth person. So in honor of the Neiman Marcus Christmas Book, I present to you the Old Money Christmas Book, which are all the best gifts that I have found for 2023 to buy for the person in your life who already has everything. I've broken it down into a couple of different categories, including parents for the man in your life, fashion gifts, travel gifts, but I also have a category in here of gifts for people that you just don't know what to get them that are still really elevated. So these would be great if you have a business, if you have a mother-in-law, if you just need to buy something special, elevated in old money style, I've got you covered. So let's jump into it. Okay, first and foremost, we're going to start off in the fashion category. So the first thing that I found that I think would be a hilarious gift to get, and by hilarious, well, you'll get it in a second. It's a Fendi baguette purse. It's a white canvas bag. It's $4,200, and it's that medium with the FF clasp on it. You know what I'm talking about, the little baguette bag, right? But the reason why this is so ridiculous is that it comes in a painting kit. That's right. It looks like a painting kit that you would get in elementary school, one of those craft kits. So you have this perfect canvas baguette bag, and it comes with all of these different paints in them. And the fact that somebody would think that they should give me paints to say paint on this $4,200 bag because you're going to make it better than how it already is obscene to me. This is the most irresponsible thing that I have ever seen. And the only person I can see doing right by this bag is Northwest. And I bet you Kim will buy this for her for Christmas this year. It's the regular front flap magnetic clasp with that gold buckle in the front. But honestly, if we're buying bags for one another, can we just at least buy bags that don't need to be worked on after we purchase them? Because I actually have a better solution for you. And I actually found this when we were in Las Vegas this last time. And if you go to the Las Vegas Louis Vuitton store and you purchase this tiny little amazing trunk, it's called the Coffret Trésor 24. It comes with, I think, 5 different interior lining colors. They have a blue, a red, a yellow, et cetera, et cetera. You can take this trunk that you get and have the artist in residence, her name is Tiffany, I met her when we were there last time, custom paint any travel monogram onto this trunk. This is what I'm talking about for an elevated gift. So the trunk itself is $5,300. Again, the colors you can get inside are pink, yellow, I think you can do a cream, a red, and a blue. And it's meant to just be like a keepsake trunk. It's pretty small. I think it's 24 centimeters across. And Tiffany will paint on it all of these different little emblems that are inspired by the travel stickers from back in the early 1900s. So think back to like Titanic times when people had big trunks and hard suitcases, and they'd stick those stickers on them that said they were traveling on the Titanic. Okay, probably not Titanic. The certain train, or they went to the certain place. And there's all these little beautiful mini monograms that you could put on there. I think this is such a special, incredible gift. It can be totally customized, and it's all done through Louis Vuitton. I think that is an amazing gift, much better than the Fendi baguette, because don't you dare paint on a Fendi baguette. Okay, the next one, I'm going to bring the price point down significantly. And in full transparency, this is something that I have already purchased for myself, because not only am I a great gift giver, I'm great at buying myself gifts when I'm shopping for other people. I'm searching and then I'm like, ooh, you know what? I really need that too. It's another great reason to have some money in the bank for holiday gifts, so that if you go over budget on shopping for yourself, it's not that bad. And like, you worked hard all year, so you deserve it. But one of the things that is so chic right now is just an oversized teddy coat. Now, I don't know about you, but I walk my dog like 1,500 times a day. And in the winter, I dread it because I'm freezing cold. Meanwhile, I have a chow chow. And when it's freezing cold, she's like, oh, finally, it's great temperature. So she's down to like hang outside. And I'm just hating every minute of it. So I knew this year I needed to buy myself something super warm, super cozy that would look good if I threw it over something dressier, or I could just wear sweats and it would just keep me really, really warm. So I found at Alo Yoga the oversized Sherpa trench coat. It comes in 3 colors, camel, black, and espresso. And right now it's $298, and it's just super chic. It's like a bigger teddy coat. Think of like casual Max Mara coat, right? It's longer. It looks super, super warm. It's unisex. So it's kind of like an oversized boxy look. I think it's super chic, and I like every color that they have available. I actually just got mine. They had Singles Day where every single piece of Alo Yoga was 30% off. So I got mine for like $200. So it's normally $300. I think I got $90 off. So keep an eye out for those sales. I really, really love this trench coat. Okay, I'm freaking out. If you know me, you might know that I struggled with acne and rosacea for years, have hypersensitive skin, and basically break out if someone just breathes on me. And I've always struggled with makeup, like buying it, applying it, and not hating it on my skin until about a year ago when I discovered this brand that changed the game for me. I am so proud to announce that Old Money is an official affiliate of Kosas. Kosas is the makeup for skincare freaks. I like them because they're clean products adhering to the EU, Sephora, and Credo clean standards, meaning the products are formulated without parabens, sulfates, formaldehyde, dimethicone, aluminum, fragrance, and all these other ingredients I just can't pronounce. Please don't ask. And their products are multitasking. They all include super nourishing ingredients at active levels to bring real skincare benefits, hydrating, soothing, brightening, plumping, and more. Let me tell you my 30-second morning makeup routine. It's actual perfection. First of all, start with the Revealer Concealer. I know you've seen this product. It's on TikTok every day. It's basically concealer with eye cream in it. Then I go in with the Dream Beam SPF 40. It perfects the skin and protects it. I press in the Cloud Setting Powder under my eyes and T-zone. This is the key to literal poreless skin. Then pop the brows with Brow Pop Nano, super pigmented, and it actually stays all day. And then I top it all off with my obsession, the wet lip oil. I literally have 5 of these, and Jellyfish and Unhooked are my 2 go-tos. Treat yourself or check out Kosas for the woman in your life. If you need a gift, you cannot go wrong with their sets. To support the show, please use our affiliate link to show Kosas you were inspired by the Old Money podcast to upgrade your makeup routine. The affiliate link is here in our show notes. You can always go online to our website, oldmoneypodcast.com, and click on the sponsors area. Follow the link there. And I will link it on Instagram stories. You can check out our sponsors highlight. And even better, the link that I'm linking you to, it takes you right to the Build Your Own Kosas set where you can get 3 full-size products for 10% off. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And thank you, Kosas, for saving my skin. Okay, but I actually have a controversial take on the next item I want to present to you because I blew Justin's mind when I said this the other day. He was shocked when I told him I did not like this certain piece of jewelry. And the piece of jewelry in question, I'm not a big fan of tennis bracelets or tennis necklaces. I happen to think that now with the oversaturation of dupes, they just never look quality and they're just usually too simple for me. I like something that has a little bit more sparkle or shine or interest to it. And I found the solution. It is an 18 karat yellow gold baguette diamond necklace. So it's a little bit more interesting than just a plain tennis necklace. And it's by one of my favorite jewelry designers, Suzanne Calan. This particular necklace is available at Bergdorf Goodman for $76,000. And it has a total diamond carat weight of 10.9. So there's 216 baguette cut white diamonds. They're set individually with this 18 karat yellow gold. And Suzanne Calan is famous for her fireworks design. I've been following her work for years. She just looks like the sweetest thing of all time. I'm not sure her background. I feel like she might be Armenian or Persian. Her daughter and her work together. They're so cute. And they have the best jewelry pieces I've ever seen. I will tell you, I did try on the fireworks ring. The way that it fit on my finger was a little bit clunky, Justin. So I'm just letting you know, maybe that's not the one, but we'll go look together. She usually has a pop-up somewhere in LA. So maybe next time we're up there visiting Jamie and Peter. Anyway, I digress. The point about Suzanne Calan is that I think she is one of the best jewelry designers of our time because she's taking something classic and making it so interesting. Now, that's the other thing about diamond necklaces or just regular tennis bracelets or tennis necklaces, I should say, is that they don't have a lot of style to them. So I think this is a really elegant way to do a classic piece with a lot of style. And speaking of classic pieces, something that's been happening this year, there's major drama in the luxury goods world because of Van Cleef. So Van Cleef Arpels is a famous jewelry designer. You guys probably know it. They have all of the Alhambra pieces. And every year since 2005, they've released a holiday pendant. Now, typically what they do with the holiday pendant is they only present them to their best customers through the sales associates only. So you would have to visit the store, you would have to inquire about it or be presented it in store for the opportunity to buy. Now, these are released as a limited edition every year, and every year they do a slightly different variation of something that's special edition, so you can only buy it during the holiday. This year, however, creators were reporting on TikTok and on the purse blogs that they had gotten an email asking if they wanted to purchase the holiday pendant this year, which is so different from how they've done it every other year. And people are like, that's so bizarre. Like, why am I getting an email? I only spent $4,000 at Van Cleef this year. That would never qualify me to get this holiday pendant. And just keep in mind, these holiday pendants are, I think they're $37.50 and they are collectibles. So there are some people who have bought them every single year since 2005, and then they trade on the secondhand market. I've seen some of them as high as like $7,500 for just this pendant necklace. And so people are like, why am I getting an email when I do not qualify to get this? And people are saying it's because this year's holiday pendant is fugly. And unfortunately, I have to agree. The 2023 holiday pendant from Van Cleef Arpels is a silver obsidian stone with a diamond center, as is standard in the holiday pendants, but it's set in rose gold. And I've seen a lot of creators say that this silver obsidian, and I totally agree, it looks like granite countertops from a kitchen from 2005. It's just like muddy. It's not very beautiful or clean. It doesn't have any sheen to it. And it pulls very cold and cool in some of the photos that I'm seeing. And then rose gold obviously has a very warm tone. So it almost looks like it just doesn't go. And I think silver obsidian is going to be the newest stone that they released for the Alhambra collection. And that's why they're trying to push it. But if lack of sales from earlier in the season are any indication of why they've had to push this out to lower tier buyers of Van Cleef, I think that just kind of generally we're agreeing that this year is not it. However, Van Cleef really truly is normally always it. I think this is now my favorite jewelry brand. I've been lucky enough to get a couple of pieces gifted to me from the man that I love. And I have to tell you, they're the best everyday pieces. They're so classic and so chic, most importantly, understated, but still interesting. So instead of splurging on a holiday pendant, which probably isn't the best combination of materials, go for a classic pair of stud earrings. They range in price from $2,600 to $5,800 to even more if you get diamonds in them. So that's my pick for this year in fashion and jewelry. Now let's move on to home gifts. Now, my biggest rule in gifting is to not go bland. Don't pick out the Bath and Body Works candle and just give that to everybody. You want to find something that's really customized. So when we talk about home gifts, one of my gifts, actually, I put this in the section at the end of the gifts to get for the people you don't know who to buy for, those Azuline books, which are really beautiful coffee table books that I think you can really tailor to find something that's true to the interest of the person. But the reason I was inspired to do home gifts as a category is because there's one home gift I don't want anybody out here to buy anybody. And that is the Tom Ford coffee table book. These are so ubiquitous. It is 2023's answer to a live, laugh, love sign. If you have a Tom Ford coffee table book in it, I need you to tell me at least 3 facts about Tom Ford before you're allowed to keep that in your house. And I get it. It's very clean. It's very aesthetically pleasing, but like we can do better. I think we can do better. So when we're looking at home gifts, I'm really looking at gifts that could really enhance the quality of living in your home. And I have the best one to start us off. This gift is inspired by none other than Drake, who I know better from being on Degrassi: The Next Generation, but now he has really broken the mold by designing the world's most expensive bed with the brand Hastings. I first found out about the brand Hastings from Justin's friend Jamie, and I've been obsessed ever since. And I'm so happy to report that Justin and I did get to lay on the Hastings bed that was made for Drake in the Miami showroom in the Design District. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a very comfortable bed. However, the one that Drake made, which is dubbed Grand Vividus, is $395,000. And the thing that makes this bed so special is that it's made of horsehair. And when I say bed, I'm really talking about it's a mattress. It is a mattress made of horsehair. And when you walk into the showroom, it smells like a stable. I have to imagine that dissipates once you get it into a regular house. But when you're in this compact showroom with all of these different horsehair beds, it's a little overwhelming. I'm going to be totally honest. And the thing that's so custom about this bed is that it's handmade for one. And this particular bed that Drake made is nearly half a ton. It's made by hand. It took 600 hours to craft. And the thing is sick. It's sitting on this cool box spring. And then, yes, it has springs and all these things, but it's got this horsehair layer on the top that perfectly regulates your body temperature and is also supposed to give you the deepest, most amazing sleep. And the nice thing about buying a Hastings mattress is that at no cost, the customer service team will come out to your house 3 to 5 times a year to flip and massage the mattress in order to keep it in tip-top shape. This is the first time I think a mattress has really become like a design object in a home. But if you don't have the budget for nearly $400,000 for the bed to sleep on, I would recommend looking at the other options they have. They start as low as $14,180 on the website. They go up to the Vividus, which is now $315,000 of it listed online. And the thing that I just want to say overall is that your bed is a place where you spend nearly a third of your life. So if you haven't upgraded your mattress recently, we did not buy a Hastings, I don't know how to say it, but holy shit, it makes your life so much better when you sleep well. So anything having to do with bedding, I'm a huge fan of. There's an ongoing debate in our house about bamboo sheets versus linen sheets. I'm a fan of bamboo. I think they're so soft and like hotel and crisp, and I love them so much. and just anything that you can do to make your house feel cozy or give that gift of a really luxurious type of a cozy situation, I'm a big fan of. So the least cozy thing that you can buy that's bedding is the Hermes Avalon Throw. You've seen these a million times in a million different houses. $1,800 for this Avalon Throw. It comes in 3 colors, either camel, black, or orange. And it's the one with all the H's on it that gets folded up. And like, God forbid you ever cuddle up in it, right? Like, don't fucking touch that blanket. But I actually found one online that I think is really chic, and it's a Gucci GG pattern throw blanket. And it has the GG monogram and then also the stars and the bumblebee, which I think is one of the cutest motifs that Gucci does. And it just looks so much cuddlier and more fresh and new than the Hermes blanket that we've been seeing all over the place. Every time there's an Hermes blanket, 10 points if there's also a Tom Ford book in the room. So I'm a big fan of like a more up-to-date pattern throw blanket. I'm also a huge fan of those Barefoot Dreams blankets. I got them for my goddaughters. I actually don't have one in our house. I should get one for myself and for Poppy. They might be too hot for my dog, but for me, perfect. They have those really chic, really cozy ones. I think those are great gifts for just the winter time and you want to be at home watching a movie. It doesn't have to be out all year long, but anything to give some hygge vibes I think are good. However, as we're also talking about the holiday season, one of, I think, the most underrated gifts is giving champagne along with beautiful stemware. And I am a huge fan of Estelle colored glass. Now, I'm kind of putting Justin on the spot on this episode. I don't mean to call you out, babe. I know you're going to listen to this eventually, but Justin has vetoed me from getting any Estelle colored glass because he is a wine freak. He's very good about knowing everything. It can sound very pretentious, but he's like legitimately very good at calling out like the mid palette or the bouquet or whatever. And he likes to see the color of his wine. Therefore, I'm not allowed to pour wine into colored glasses, unfortunately for me, because the Estelle colored glass stemware is so chic and you can buy it in so many different color combinations to really complement the taste of the person you're buying for. So you could get all cobalt blue or all blush pink or all mint green, or you can get this like highlighter neon set or this really beautiful mix set of pastels or a fall mix set or a holiday mix set. And I just think it's such a chic way to really elevate a tablescape to have some different interest on it instead of just your regular crystal glasses. So even though Justin doesn't agree, I'm a big fan of Estelle colored glass. Now, as we get into some of the other holiday gifts, as a child, I swear I bought my mother the entire Williams-Sonoma store over the course of my childhood, with help from my father, obviously funding the whole situation. But my mom loved to cook. She's a great cook, a great baker. And so every year it was like scraping the bottom of the barrel of the Williams-Sonoma catalog of like, what cookie cutters have I not bought her yet? Does she need a new rolling pin? Like, here's another meat thermometer. Because it was just such an easy go-to gift. And the thing is, we spend so much of our time in the kitchen that it does make a lot of sense to give people things that make their kitchen life easier. So something that I'm looking for on my Christmas list, Santa, is the GE Profile Countertop Nugget Ice Maker. I am obsessed with nugget ice. I love water and I love it super freaking cold. And nugget ice just, the crunching, don't tell my dentist I do it. It's just so satisfying. I love it in cocktails. I love it in water. I love it in bubble water. I'm just obsessed with always having fresh ice on hand, but especially nugget ice. So this particular one, I don't know why it needs it, but it has built-in Wi-Fi and voice control. Somebody explain that to me. Why, GE, that's not what we need from this machine, but it's wild they justify the price of $599. However, right now on Crate & Barrel, it's on sale for $449. I'm obsessed with this thing. I love nugget ice so, so much. It's like the one reason why I rented our office downtown because they had a nugget ice machine. I cannot get over it. And then the other thing that I saw online that I think is so beautiful and so cool is this high-tech Kuzin Matcha Maker Starter Kit. And it's this incredible looking machine. It's actually pretty gorgeous looking. And it produces freshly ground matcha from tea leaves and it grinds it for you right there. And it creates a perfect matcha latte for you, or matcha shot rather, from a ground leaf. So you can create your drink super, super fresh. It makes this matcha and then brews it for you all right there. And it's honestly like the most gorgeous thing. And it feels like just such a thing that like Mona Vand needs. You guys know who Mona Vand is. She's dating Gary Vee now, but she's that like wellness influencer. She's so chic. I think she lives in New York City and she's like always like having her lemon water and matcha. It's just a beautiful looking countertop device that you could at least get one good TikTok out of. This particular one is $2.99, so something to explore if you have a matcha lover in your life. Okay, this is crazy. I haven't even gotten halfway through my list of gifts, but we're already at 30 minutes. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to break this episode up into 2 parts, and I'm not going to make you wait a whole nother week. I'll drop this part 2 in a couple of days. But in part 2, we'll go over all the gifts we've got the man in your life, especially if you've got a Huberman husband in your life. I have all of the hot tricks. We're going to go through some beauty, fitness, travel, gifts for parents of children or parents of pets. And then the most important selection of all, we've got affordable gifts that are elevated and for people that you don't know super well, but they're still very thoughtful so you don't get caught handing out like a fruitcake at the last minute. In the meantime, I want to know what's on your Christmas list. I want to know what you're asking Santa for this year. So I'll put a little box on Instagram so you can tell me, and we'll post all about it so we can all keep each other inspired and elevated as we go into the holiday season. So stay tuned. I'll drop part 2 in just a couple of days, and I will talk to you on the next episode. Feeling rich? I hope so. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Old Money. If you have questions you want answered, email me at oldmoneypodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on social. We are at Old Money Podcast, and I am at your service. If this episode spoke to you, inspired you, helped you, if you took a single note, it would mean the world to me if you could please just take a minute to rate and review the podcast. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe. And if you have friends who like getting rich, please share this episode with them, even if it's just on your Instagram story. And I'd love you more than Jeff Bezos loves Amazon Prime. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you on the next episode. Remember, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your tax professional, and I'm not your financial advisor. The content presented in this podcast is intended to entertain, educate, inspire, and support listeners in their personal and professional development and does not constitute business, financial, or legal advice. In addition to that, this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services.